Welcome, Hagerman community. This is Chairman Brian Whitmarsh, just to give you a quick first-hand account of what took place in last night's special board meeting. The reason we had a special board meeting is because we had some time-sensitive items that had to be approved and submitted, and that was specific to rezoning, and I'll get to that in more detail. We started off, we had a call to order, we had a quorum, we said the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we approved the agenda, which is 4 key items. The first item, last board meeting, we had Dr. Wiley Dobbs talked to us about strategic plan. He has a lot of experience, education experience, superintendent, principal, all that. And he's going to help us with getting our strategic plan across the finish line. Now, we've had a committee that's worked on this over the last 6-8 months, and we just need help getting it across the finish line. He has services that he can provide, and those services can be fully funded by credit that we have with Idaho School Board Association. So we approved up to half of that credit to be used for Dr. Dobbs to help us get it across the finish line. And the community will be involved in that, and you'll see all that coming up here very shortly. Then we went into this new trustee zone boundaries thing. There's a lot of misconception about what took place. I will tell you what the truth of the matter is. We hired Idaho School Board Association back in May. Every few years we have to make sure that when the census come out that we have the right representation for the different zones. You can't have one zone that represents 90% of the population. So we have to go through and make sure that we have within 10% of each zone that is represented properly. And so we hired ISBA back in May. ISBA got the census results from the state in August. So they didn't get it, we were trying to stay on top of it. May, they didn't get the information about the census results until August. And then they put the data on our map, because we had hired them to do this, to say, okay, this is what your zones look like right now. And we got that September 21st. So, it's September 30th right now. So we just got that a little while ago. And they said, okay, now you need to make adjustments, make sure that it's within 10%. It wasn't. Zone 2 is huge. There's been a lot of growth in the downtown area. And so we need to rezone. And they said, you have 10 days to return this to us. So that's tomorrow. And so we had to have this special meeting. What we did is we looked at the different zones, the board, administration, even, thanks for those that attended the board meeting. The community got involved and helped us, make reasonable borders that weren't crazy to be able to redraw those and then make sure that it's within 10% of the population for each one of those zones to have equal representation. What we did is we then approved that rezoning. And what happens now is we send that back, and Idaho School Board Association, they have 120 days to basically review it. Then they submit it to the state. And then the state tells us, within however long it takes for the state to get to it, they tell us whether it's approved or not. And then if it is approved, then we receive it back. And then when we receive it back, the board has to approve these changes. And we have to do it first and second reading. So really, these new zones are not going to be implemented, if they are, for the next 6 months. It's going to be 6 months out. And so there is no change in what we're doing. I know that Zone 2, we're going to appoint a new Zone 2 interim because Terry Dorchek resigned. And we're going to do that exactly like we would have done. We have, I believe it's 3 candidates. We're not even going to be concerned about, are they in the new Zone 2 and the old Zone 2? We're not going to care. We're going to hire, we are going to appoint the best candidate for the district. And then in 6 months, if something changes because of this rezoning that we need to refactor, then we'll deal with it then. But there is no change. So I just want to make sure, I've heard a bunch of misinformation about what's going on. We all know misinformation can be very damaging. So I would highly encourage you to just take firsthand accounts. I love the involvement. I love hearing that people are, what's going on with the school board? What are they doing? If you can, talk to someone that is at the school board, send a representative to the school board so that you know exactly what's going on firsthand. I make it a practice not to take second, third, fourth hand and because it's that whole phone call thing, right? Because then it comes out something completely different. And we're not volunteering hundreds of hours each year to be a part of the problem, right? We're trying to bring the community together, and we can do great things, right? Talked to Josh Mavenkamp on the phone. I talked to him a lot, and yes, we have a lot of opportunity. The Booster Club's doing great things. They have, you know, a ton of people that are volunteering their time to bring change and be a part of the solution. So let's work together, be a part of the solution. And you know, right now, your school board, you've elected a very conservative school board. We do everything we can to keep kids educated, to keep them in the classroom, to make sure that there's not crazy mandates going on. I think we've done a pretty good job. Now, if these conservative viewpoints and the action you see coming out of the board is not what represents this community, you can vote us out, right? Bring other people in that, you know, we want to make sure we're reflecting the community's values, you know, what agenda the community wants. So, but again, please listen to first-hand accounts, not second, third, fourth, and please don't pass on second, third, and fourth-hand accounts. It does a lot of damage, and so then we have to figure out how to repair it. But yeah, if you can send a representative firsthand, that's awesome. And then you can, you know, because it's right, we have certain protocols to talk to board members, and so it's best to not to reach out directly to board members, but to representatives that are at those board meetings, so you understand truly what's going on, right? And then we went through and we had a whole bunch of ISBA, Idaho School Board Association, goes through the resolutions of what they want us to vote for, what then they lobby for. You know, this doesn't get approved instantly, but we went through and we followed pretty much all of the Idaho School Board Association's recommendations, except for one, which the board voted to say is basically a resolution that said, you know, if something's approved by the different school boards for a resolution, Idaho School Board Association, that right now, after 2 years, if no action happens, you have to resubmit it and get approval for it again. And Idaho School Board Association recommended that, no, you know, sometimes things take longer in the legislation process, that, you know, if it's 3 or 4 years, let's go ahead and still not have to revote on that. And we decided as the board, the world's moving at such a quick pace that 2 years, a lot can happen in 2 years. So we are going to vote no on that, or do not pass, because we do want these revisited. If something hasn't happened in 2 years, we want to make sure it's still current and it still reflects what we want as a community and what we want as a school board. So that we're going to vote do not pass. And then we went through and we had a whole bunch of different policies. I think I had 20 some policies that we went through. Again, you know, there was some folks there, which is great, provided some input, but again, your board is a very conservative board. So changes and approvals to these things follow keeping kids in school, keeping kids educated, doing everything that we can without crazy mandates, and making sure that, you know, that these policies reflect the community. So again, that's what we did. If you want further detail, you can definitely reach out to the district office. And then again, I greatly encourage you to participate in the process. Be a part of the solution, and we can do great things, right? There's a lot of really cool things that we can do in this community, and we're growing. Attendance is up, 60 plus people, 60 plus kids in the community. In-person learning. So again, thank you all for those that are involved, are being a part of the solution, and just continue to support and support the process. So thank you very much. Have a great day.